Thor was without a doubt one of the greatest superheroes the MCU had. We got to see him start off as a brash young warrior and evolve into someone worthy of ruling Asgard. Unfortunately, Marvel liked Thor's journey a bit too much and decided to do it multiple times. Every time we thought he was gonna become king, they sent him back to square one to learn the same lesson over again. And then came Thor Love and Thunder. This movie was the ultimate middle finger to Thor's character and anyone who liked him, which is pretty much Marvel's go-to move.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
The plot here is just terrible, so I'm not going to waste too much time on a summary. Gorr the God Butcher is mad at the gods for being selfish and is set on a crash course with Thor, who's back in fighting shape after goofing off with the Guardians for a while. Jane Foster returns after Natalie Portman abandoned the MCU and gets the highest honor. She's now worthy of becoming Thor and wields a jailbroken Mjolnir. Along with Valkyrie, they go on some silly adventures and act way too carefree and goofy, considering Gorr kidnapped all the children of Asgard. In the end, Gorr and Jane die, and Thor ends up traveling the universe with Gorr's revived daughter, who's yet another overpowered female character that is possibly going to replace him or join some young Avengers team.
Don't ask questions, just consume product and then get excited for next product.
This movie in particular was a massive letdown for me because I actually enjoyed Thor's serious tone in the first two movies. There's an argument to be made for Ragnarok because at the very least it felt tempered. There was too much comedy, but it didn't go overboard like this shit show did. Every single moment had to be followed up with some idiotic joke, most of which came at the expense of Thor. Oh wow, Thor and his hammer had a breakup. Let's treat it like they were dating and he's jealous. So damn funny. Even when the kids were kidnapped, the team acted like it was a laughing matter, because what audience doesn't enjoy a good joke or two when dozens of kids are about to be slaughtered?
What a terrible joke!
This movie suffered the same issue pretty much every MCU movie did after the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. Every movie had to follow the same pattern of jokes and never taking things seriously, but without the nuanced way James Gunn approached it. And then there are all the nonsensical inconsistencies this movie created. Why didn't Thor power up all the Avengers like he did with the kids? How had nobody ever decided to go after Eternity before? Seems like it would have been much easier for Thanos to wish away half the population than go through the trouble of gathering all the stones. And if some random farmer like Gorr knew about it, no way Thanos didn't. Yet again, another example of Marvel making some seriously genius world building decisions.
The only power I have is that I believe we can do better.
Thor is treated like a punching bag for everyone's jokes because that's the only role Marvel knows how to write for the white male hero. Oh, funny, Zeus snapped too hard and the girls are drooling over his naked body. Don't care if it sounds cliche at this point, but to reverse the roles and have Natalie Portman jokingly stripped, you might as well play horror movie music and send Zeus to jail for sexual assault. Nothing wrong with using an actor's sexual appeal in a movie, but Marvel used to do it with both the men and the women. We saw shirtless Thor in Captain America, but Black Widow and Scarlet Witch were also sporting some extremely tight tops. Now it's just the men who they've all turned into betas by this point in some weird attempt to attract female fans who clearly preferred when the shirtless guys were badasses instead of jokes.
That is so deeply pathetic.
Really not much to say about Jane Foster. Her cancer arc was yet again treated like a joke. They literally took every opportunity to mock what she was going through. Of course she came in and wielded Mjolnir better than Thor, because female empowerment I guess. I genuinely questioned all the choices I made in my life that led me to the theater when she said, "Eat my hammer." Her character was just pathetic. And speaking of pathetic, Valkyrie was also in this movie. Remember the whole Thor becoming worthy enough to rule Asgard arc? Yeah, fuck all that. Marvel just decided Valkyrie gets to rule Asgard. She's pretty much just a copy-paste annoying tomboy character. Every second she was on screen was cringe-inducing. But yay for strong female characters, right?
Take a hike, bro. Put a vest with a bunch of pockets on, get a stick, whittle it down, make it 3 feet, get to steppin'.
Watching a movie like this really makes you understand why someone like Emily Blunt gets bored and pissed off when she reads a script that says strong female lead. Gorr sucked, plain and simple. Obviously Christian Bale is a fantastic actor, but Gorr was a shit character in the comics to begin with. He was part of not only one of the worst Thor arcs, but one of the worst arcs in all of comic book history. Not much potential to begin with, and the writers just made it worse. Can't imagine how desperate Bale was to get off that set and cash his check.
Get me out of here!
Thor Love and Thunder was an absolute disaster from start to finish. It never took itself seriously and took every opportunity to shit on its main hero in order to build up their terrible female characters. Who knows what they were thinking with this movie, although that's assuming anyone over at Marvel still uses their brains before writing crap like this. Chris Hemsworth already wanted out of this beta male hero crap before this movie when he did Extraction and played the ultimate alpha male badass. Then he followed up this movie with Extraction 2, and it's hard to believe he'd want to go back to Marvel after getting to play an extremely rare badass male hero like Tyler Rake. But who knows how much money Marvel's gonna throw at him. I can't imagine going back in time to when I was watching Infinity War and telling myself that badass god who almost killed Thanos would end up some whimpering crybaby of a character who was just there to be laughed at.